Hey, my name is Athena and today I'm bringing you my Tis-the-season-a-thon TBR. Tis-the-season-a-thon is a readathon that is hosted by Heather from Bookables, as well as Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads, Kristin from Super Space Chick, Trina from Between Chapters, and on Instagram Aimee from A Court of Crowns and Quills. This readathon takes place from the 3rd of December through the 9th of December. And it has a couple of challenges associated with it. Not every book has to be holiday themed. This readathon coincides as well with the readathon that I do monthly with my friends, which is sort of running from like the 6th of December or the 7th of December to the 9th. So I will be combining these readathons. I'm a mood reader, so I find it very difficult to make a set TBR beforehand. So we'll see if I actually read all of these books or whether I might change something, or yeah, just depending on how my mood goes. Also, I find it very difficult to read longer, denser books during the readathon. So my reads will be more short. There are some graphic novels in here, some children's books, because I just find that easy to read. I find I cannot read too long in a longer, dense book. Let's say, I don't know, A Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin. I've tried to read that before for a readathon, and 100 pages or so is like the most I can do in a day, and then I just have to rest and process it. So with all that said, let's get into the TBR. The first challenge is to read a book with red or green on the cover, and for this I have Alle Schietocht by Elsa Biska. This is a picture book that I read, well, that I was read to when I was a child. My mum read this to me, I think. And it's got red on the cover, not a lot. I am aware of that, but it is winter themed. So I thought it would be appropriate to reread it. I haven't read this in many years, so yeah, hopefully it will be nice. Then the second challenge is to read a book while listening to holiday music, and I can't read while listening to music. I have to have quiet silence. I don't want any intruding sounds while I read. But they have said, the hosts have said, you can also use like a crackling fireplace. So I was hoping to use my own fireplace as that sound, and then I'll sit by it reading, because I can put up with that because it's my own fireplace, so I know what it sounds like. And it's much better than listening to music. But I'm not sure if it will be cold enough. So we will see how the weather next week develops. If it's not cold enough, then I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, so we will see. Anyway, the book I've picked for that is Een ijskoud vriendje by Ton van Rijn, with illustrations by the John King. And this is also wintry themed, and I live in the Netherlands, so this season in December it's winter. So that's why I thought I'd pick a short children's book for this challenge, because I don't want to have sounds too long. The third challenge is to read a book that will make you feel warm and fuzzy. And for this I have picked On One Look at Kerst, Donald Duck Pocket 216. I used to read a lot of Donald Duck Pockets, and also just the magazine, when I was a kid and a teenager. And then a few years ago I read a Donald Duck Pocket each time I had a readathon with my friends, which we do once a month. But then a while ago I stopped because I was getting kind of tired of it. I have a couple still left to read on my shelf, unread. Most of the time that I've read Donald Duck Pockets, they were all rereads. This was the next one that I have to read. Not that I have to read, but in order, that was the next to read. And I think it will make me feel warm and fuzzy, because not only is it Christmas themed, it is also probably going to bring me some nostalgia, because I'll remember reading about these characters when I was a lot younger. Then challenge number 4 is to read a short book, sort of under 250 pages or less. And for this I picked De Bevroren Mammoet by Batpat. That is not the author's name, that's the name of the character, but that is how the author is listed in the book. This is also sort of ice, winter, cold kind of themed, I think. I haven't read it yet, so this is about a bat and two children. But I haven't read the rest of the story yet. I've read a couple of books of this series at the library, and I like them a lot. This one I bought in a library sale recently, and I haven't, well, this year. I haven't read it yet, so yeah. Oh, this one is, I want to say, I think around 120 pages. Then the last challenge is to read a holiday themed book, and for that I picked A Magische Kerst by Geronimo Stilton. I really love Geronimo Stilton's books, and also most of Thea Stilton's books. I have read a lot of like these authors, not all of it yet, because there is a lot out, but I've read a lot of it through the library and also some of my own copies. I have quite a bit of it, but also I've read a lot through the library. I don't think I've read this one yet, so, and it's Christmas themed, so I thought it'd be fun. The series is originally published in Italian by an Italian company, and I'm reading the Dutch translation, but there are English translations as well. And all of the characters are mice, at least in this. There are more characters. More. These are elves, anyway. So yeah, this is holiday themed, so yeah. I'm hoping to at least get through these 5 because I've picked them for the challenges. Then there is a bonus challenge, which is to read the group read, which is Snow in Love by Melissa de la Cruz, Nic Stone, Aimee Friedman and Kasie West. And these are 4 holiday themed stories. They're not all Christmas themed, but they are holiday themed. Wintry by the looks of the cover, I think. And I thought it'd be fun to pick it up and read it with like the hosts and also other people who might also be reading this book. So yeah. So I'm hoping to at least get through these 6. But then I have selected a couple of other books as well, because I might want to read those other books. I think since most of these are pretty short, I should definitely be able to read this in a week. And probably a lot less than that. But I should point out that I have been quite busy lately, and so I haven't taken much time or had much time for reading. So I look forward to spend some time reading, to set some time aside for reading. So other than this, I will also be reading some other things, and I'm going to tell you some of those things now. So the first one is De Nieuwe Knecht van Sinterklaas by Kristin Deeltjens and Erika Kottelier. I bought this at a library sale. I don't know much about it other than that it's a story about Sinterklaas, who is this, and a new helper, who is this person. Now in the Netherlands, Sinterklaas is on December 5th, which I should explain that a lot of families in the Netherlands give presents with Sinterklaas, so that's on the 5th of December. And some other people do gifts for Christmas here, because it's kind of been, yeah, from internationally and such, I think. But for my family, we have a nice meal when it's Christmas, but we don't do presents. We used to do Sinterklaas presents when I was a lot younger. We stopped with that when my brother became 18, because we thought it's been long enough, so it's more a children's thing. But I thought it'd be festive to read a story about it this week, because I haven't read many stories about it myself. Back when I was a kid, I don't think we had too many stories about it. This book was published in 2005. So yeah. We have done gifts for Christmas as well with my family a couple of years, but after that we decided to just not do any gifts. But I have fond memories of this. Anyway, one thing I do want to point out is that the past few years there is a big discussion in the Netherlands about whether these helpers should have a dark skin tone. Originally, the skin tone comes from the soot in chimneys that they have to crawl through. So, but it is often depicted as like black or like dark brown, as you can see here. And so there are quite a few people who are saying that they would prefer that these helpers, I'm going to talk about this book in a minute, should have like rainbow colors or just all sorts of colors or stuff like that. So there is some political aspect because it reminds them of racism, and I can see that. I'm anti-racism. That it would be good to change the skin tone of the characters, so we'll just ignore what it looks like. But yeah. I don't mean for my channel to get too political. If you have any questions about it, you can feel free to ask me. I don't celebrate Sinterklaas personally, so I am fine with changing the skin tone of the helpers. I can understand that makes people happy because it seems like racism with the white Santa and then the black helpers. I can understand that. But anyway, there's still lots of discussions and demonstrations about that nowadays. Anyway, in this book, Sinterklaas is very busy with getting all the presents to the children, so he's looking for a new helper. But will he find one? That's what the story is about. And then secondly, these are short stories. It's called Sinterklaas verhalen. So short stories to do with Sinterklaas. Again, we will ignore the dark colors of the characters because this book was also published in an earlier time, 1996, before there was any sort of discussion about this. And I think it's good that the discussion is there. But anyway, so these are short stories by these authors to do with Sinterklaas. I haven't often read stories to do with Sinterklaas. I'm sure they do exist, but I can't remember many. I don't think I own much like that. So anyway, so this is a book I might try to read. Ideally, I would like to read these two around the 5th of December, but we will see. Then another book I might pick up is Kinderverhalen rond Kerstmis. These are children's stories by these authors to do with Christmas. And I have read this book many times. I was gifted this book by my grandparents, my dad's parents, when I was a kid. And I always liked it. I have reread it several times. So if I'm feeling nostalgic and after reading the Sinterklaas stories, then I might read the Christmas stories. It's not the same authors. There's probably some of the same ones, but I don't even know if it's the same publisher, so it might be. Anyway, so I might reread this. I quite like this cover. Then it is also Queer Lit Readathon from, I want to say, the 2nd of December through the 8th. So I have picked a couple of queer books that I might like to get to. The first is Queer, A Graphic History by Meg John Barker and Julia Schede? I'm not sure how to pronounce. This is a graphic history of queer things, and it is not really a graphic novel, but there are a lot of illustrations in it, and so I thought I might read this if I feel in the mood for it. Then I have Blue is the Warmest Color by Julie Moreau, and this is a female romance about a girl who figures out she's a lesbian, at least according to the back. So I'll have to read it, but I've heard good things about this from someone on BookTube, so we will see. Then I have The Witch Boy by Molly Knox Ostertag, and this is kind of this is a graphic novel. Oh, the Blue is the Warmest Color is also a graphic novel. I should maybe show that. Okay, I'm new to doing these TBR videos, to be honest, so I don't really make them. So this is also a graphic novel. The sequel came out, I think, in one of the last few months. So if I like this, I'll be picking that up. this is about everyone in As's family is born with magic, says the synopsis. And boys get to be shapeshifters and girls get to be witches, but he doesn't, he has no talent for shapeshifting and he wants to be a witch, so that could be interesting. I don't know exactly like how we'll discuss gender norms and if we could qualify it as queer or not, but yeah. Then I have The Bride Was a Boy by Chi. This is a graphic memoir, or should we call it a manga memoir? I'm not sure, because it reads from right to left, as you can see. And this is about a transgender person who grew up as a boy and who then becomes a bride. So I bought this really recently, and so I'm looking forward to it. And then the last book I have to show you is Cruz by Svetlana Chmakova. I also got this book recently, and this is sort of book 3 in like the Awkward and Brave series. So Awkward was book 1 and Brave is book 2. I'm not really sure if the series has a title. And look, there is my dog. I read Awkward and Brave earlier this year and I really liked them. And so I recently got this book. I think it was also recently published, but I'm not entirely sure. But well, it was published in 2018, so relatively recent. I don't know which month. And I just got this, so I look forward to reading book 3 because I quite like the other 2. I do think you can read them separately from each other. Each of them are about different characters, but some of the same characters feature, if that makes sense. And it's later in time. So if you're interested, then it's pretty best to start Awkward, but well, I'll tell you more when I read this in my review. That's all the books that I've picked out. I don't know if I'll get to all of these, or I might decide to read something different. Hopefully I'll at least get to the books that I picked for the challenges, but we'll have to see because I'm very much a mood reader. So sorry, I'm distracted by my dog. She's walking over there and she's looking at me. But this will kind of be the first readathon really that first booktube kind of readathon that I'm doing, so I hope it will go well. I have participated in the booktubeathon before, but that was before I had my booktube channel. So I look forward to it. As I said earlier, I have been quite busy lately and having other things on my mind. So I haven't taken a lot of time or had a lot of time to read. I have actually, today that I'm filming this, is the last day of November, the 30th of November. And I have actually read a lot less books this month than in any other month this year so far, or even if I compare it to the last few years, it's been the lowest. But we'll talk about that more in my November reading summary, which I will be making in a while as well. If you're doing the Tis-the-season-a-thon, feel free to comment down below and let's chat about it, and I hope you have fun. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. Bye!